So let's talk about some Dragon Ball Super. And it's been a whole month, and I can't believe we have to wait a whole month for every new chapter of Dragon Ball. But this was especially worth it in my opinion. So Dragon Ball Super Chapter 60. Mirror's miscalculation. Now, honestly, this was a very action-heavy chapter, and a lot of the chapters in this arc have been insanely action-heavy, which is something that have come to really appreciate. Because when you want to watch or read Dragon Ball, it's for the action. That's really what you want for Dragon Ball, not some deep story or deep philosophical meanings. It's the action, and Toyotaro has done an amazing job in this arc specifically. Like, he's done the best work he's done with action scenes in this arc, and it's just been amazing. So what happened in this chapter specifically for why I loved it? So essentially, we start off where I left off, where Goku's essentially decided to not go with the whole conserving energy thing in Ultra Instinct Omen. I'm gonna call it Omen because it sounds cooler instead of Sign, and just decides to just go full on straight up attacking Moro, which is something that Miras didn't think Goku would, well, do. And Whis does essentially talk. We do get some good commentary from Whis, especially for the fight in general, especially considering that Goku switching over to a more offensive strategy using Omen was honestly the best thing he could have done. So what do we get? We get Moro and Goku for roughly like 3-4 pages, just powering up, the classic Dragon Ball power up moment. Honestly, kind of feels like Toritaro was kind of trying to set things up for how it will eventually get animated. And if anything like this is for show, we're mostly going to be every single chapter from this arc, or every 1 or 2 chapters, will definitely be an episode of the anime when it eventually comes back, which I honestly really hope it comes back. But yeah, so we see them powering up continuously, and almost every page we see like Goku and Moro inch closer and closer together until they eventually like head head, head heads against each other, ready to strike. Now they each throw a couple of punches and stuff like that. Moro gets ready to throw like a giant energy ball down. Goku heads up, kicks it into the air, and deals a good blow to Moro. Goku has the upper hand for this fight. Like, he does get a lot of good hits in on Moro in this fight, but then Moro does end up grabbing Goku's legs and slamming him down to the ground. And honestly, the way it's been drawn is awesome. It's some of the best artwork I've seen in this manga in a while. And the way Toyotaro is drawing out the fight of Goku versus Moro is honestly really good, because it's not just classic, oh, I'm just going to throw a couple of punches and we're going to counter the punches, throw in a kick, do an energy clash, stuff like that. We actually get to see some real fighting, some real martial arts in this manga, which is something that Dragon Ball had when it first started. But it was really nice, especially since Ultra Instinct Omen is more of a defensive capability, a state of defensiveness to use all that strength ability for defense and avoiding stuff. We get to see Goku do more acrobatics, being able to like possibly get into people's blind spots, dodge attacks more, uses techniques in a new way where he can swerve around his opponents and get good hits in. And the fight is in Goku's favor for the most part until Moro eventually tanks a hit just so he can get in close for Goku, slamming him to the ground. And it's up until this point that we did in fact say that Goku's gamble of giving up on defensive strategy and conserving his energy was honestly the best. What might not have been the best idea, but was honestly the only thing Goku could have really done, because technically while he could have focused more on the defensive, he wouldn't have done much against Moro, especially in the last chapter. He was getting decimated by Moro. He wasn't doing much to Moro at all. At least by going on a more offensive strategy, even though Ultra Instinct Omen doesn't have much offensive capabilities or deals any massive blows, he can in fact chip away at Moro's and Moro's stamina, and possibly gets some hits in by chipping away his defense. And during this fight, we cut back to Vegeta on Yardrat, where it seems that he's finally mastered whatever he was working on, which is still insanely vague. Now, we do know that it's not instant transmission because he asks Pavara to teleport him to Earth now that he is, in fact, well, done with his training, and that he's done it in a record time, according to them. So we ask Pavara to instant transmission him to Earth, to where Goku is. He does explain the full extent of instant transmission, that they have to know someone and their energy in order to make the trip. But there's also the thing that, in the sense of like, every Yardratian is duty bound to not leave their planet using instant transmission. It is a kind of fair rule, because that's, I mean, you can't, if you don't have to leave the planet, there's no reason you should. And it is not that bad of an idea if you want to, like, as a way to, like, be fair, like, oh, you can teleport anywhere, but you can't leave the planet. And it is duty bound by all of the Yardratians. But anyway, they can't sense Goku's ki since he is an Ultra Instinct and is basically using God Ki. And since the Yardratians can't use sense God Ki, the only real way is for Vegeta to somehow learn Ultra Instinct. He says, "All right, he does kind of regret not learning instant transmission from when he got there, because now, since he's the only one who gets sense God Ki, it would have been great if he learned instant transmission. But yeah, he kind of screwed up on that one. But yeah, so now he's like, I'm gonna do instant transmission now. I'm gonna learn this technique. So we then cut back to the fight with Goku and Moro, and then Moro still decimating Goku now. He's starting to really decimate Goku. Goku still manages to get a couple of hits in, but Moro does essentially deal a lot of damage to him. Gohan and Piccolo are basically standing off on the side doing commentary and reaction shots, which at this point is all they're good for, since Gohan can use God Ki, he wouldn't be able to even do anything to Moro, and Piccolo can't do anything either. So Moro manages to land after landing a point blank energy blast to Goku's face. We cut back to Whis, Beerus, and Beerus. So essentially, Beerus and Whis are being very neutral. They're really taking their jobs seriously now. I mean, they've interfered somewhat, not to an extent where it would completely change things. But for this, it is something that they can't interfere in. Plus, if Moro can in fact absorb God Ki, then it'd be a bad idea to have Beerus anywhere near him. But that's not really an issue, since they're not doing anything. Honestly, I don't even think anyone really made that connection yet. But I doubt it's because Beerus is, scared. I mean, I think you can just do a quick Hakai and eliminate Moro. But yeah, so Beerus is still trying to, do something to help out. Whis continues to tell him that while they can interact with them, they can't do anything to really alter the course of this. It's something that only really the Kais can determine if they have to interfere. Only the Kais have the ability to interfere, since they're the ones that are supposed to, look in on things when it comes to all the planets, and that this is the way of the universe, the birth and destruction of planets and their species, etc. And Beerus is just hungry. And Beerus is obviously upset at this. He knows he can't do anything, and it's eating away at him. So we cut back to the fight. Beerus lands one last hit on Goku, and he falls out of Ultra Instinct Domain. And with that, he's about to finish off Goku until the Android 17 and 18 show up, causing Moro to backflip away from them, and then be like intrigued that the Earth had the technology to make androids that don't really have energy from the steel and have a lot of power. So he figured he'd have some fun. So why not? The androids don't do anything. We cut back to Vegeta on the Yardrat again, who is still trying to learn instant transmission, and somehow ends up in a trash can. Which, okay, I do like the comedic moments in this. It is Dragon Ball. It wouldn't be much of an arc, a training arc, if things wouldn't comedic happen. But anyway, so right as Vegeta is trying to continuing the train, Babara does in fact notice that Goku fell out of Ultra Instinct. Well, he can sense Goku's energy again, and Vegeta's like, he must have fallen out of Ultra Instinct. Perhaps he lost to Moro. It's like, I don't have any more time left. I got to do this. But Barros offered to be like, okay, I'll break our rule just this one time. I'll take you to Earth. But Vegeta's like, no. It's like, he says, for some reason, I think I can do it now. But just this once. And I don't think I'll be able to do it. And just like that, he thanks the Ardradians for all they've done, for helping him train. And I do like seeing Vegeta thank people, because it shows how far he's come as a character. But Bara gives Vegeta his signature suit, and then Vegeta manages to do instant transmission and gets to Earth. Once he gets there, he tells the androids to leave and that Moro is his, and essentially boasting over Goku that don't worry, I'm not going to steal your signature technique after they realize that he used instant transmission. Vegeta does state again that he probably won't be able to do it ever again, like luck. One line I do want to specifically talk about really quickly that Babara said when Vegeta left. When one of the Ardrats said that Vegeta is some kind of prodigy, Babara clarifies and says, yes, he is a prodigy, but a prodigy born out of hard work, which is something that I feel like has gone to Goku since Dragon Ball Z started, because remember, Vegeta was an elite Saiyan. He was insanely powerful, and he's never really had, while Saiyans do work hard to become stronger, Vegeta prided himself on being the strongest one around. But Goku, he trained, he did hard work to get stronger, and that's essentially the kind of prodigy Goku was. He trained to get stronger, his hard work made him stronger. And ever since Vegeta was introduced, and Vegeta continuously lost to Goku when Goku surpassed him, that caused Vegeta to work even harder. So that word of dialogue, while I do believe could be misinterpreted or just seen as a throwaway line, it shows how much Vegeta has in fact grown, because he was the talented prodigy right from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z when he was introduced. But now, he uses his hard work to get ahead. And right now, it could be what he needs to beat Moro. So anyway, that little lesson done right now. So back on Earth, Vegeta shows up boasting. He turns into evolved Super Saiyan Blue and states, Moro, you won't be disappointed. And then he charges at Moro, same way that Goku did earlier. And that's how that chapter ends. So what this can be going for is that it's very highly possible now that Goku is out of energy since he fell out of Ultra Instinct. And we all remember how exhausted Goku was each time he fell out of Ultra Instinct Saiyan alone, back in the Tournament of Power. So I do believe that Goku is out of the fight, for at least for a little while. So, but definitely the next chapter, we're going to see Vegeta's new technique, or Vegeta's going to fight Moro normally at first, try to avoid getting his energy stolen, and then he's going to use whatever new ability he's learned to fight Moro on more of an even playing field. And I do hope, I really do hope, because this will be a nice change of pace for Dragon Ball, is if Vegeta got the finishing blow on Moro. Because this would honestly solidify Vegeta as a powerhouse, because while I did like in the anime of Dragon Ball Super, and that him and Goku teamed up against Jiren, and Vegeta managed to get a few hits on Jiren in Super Saiyan Blue, something that Goku never did. He wasn't entirely useless, and it all came crumbling down to Goku. While I did like the team up with Frieza at the end of the Tournament of Power for them to take out Jiren, I do firmly believe that this could be setting up Vegeta's first big win of Dragon Ball. Him taking out an arc villain, a main villain of an arc, all by himself. So yeah, I do think Vegeta will end up getting a good win, a well-deserved win. With all that said and done, that's really all I have to say about this chapter. Another great action-packed chapter for Dragon Ball. I can't wait till next month. I really wish this was just a bi-weekly thing. But then again, it wouldn't have as many pages if it was bi-weekly, so take the good with the bad. But yeah, what did you guys think of this chapter? Was it good? Was it bad? Did you like the action? Did you like how Vegeta managed to get, Vegeta get like the sorry I'm late moment, or the Goku moment over and seems to be the one that could end up beating Moro in the end? We'll just have to wait and see. So with all that said and done, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you around.